Alright everybody, welcome back here to our Carcass album review series we've got going. Of course, we took a little bit of a detour, reviewed the new Metallica album, which of course we're going to be doing that updated ranking at sometime at the end of this week here of all those Metallica albums. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and knock out another Carcass album review. Of course, this time we're entering the 90s with their 1991 album, Necroticism, Descanting The Insalubrious. Another kind of crazy cover. Not quite as gory, maybe as the first two album covers, right? But got some crazy imagery on there. You know, some limbs in a bucket and just blood splatter. Crazy looking stuff. Their album covers are pretty freaking wild. But yeah, guys, this is quite the transition for the band here. Quite, you know, this album kind of set the tone, I think, for the rest of their career going forward. Now, it doesn't go quite all into the melodic, more melodic nature that the more groove-based death metal that they end up going more into with like their next release and everything, but it does kind of, you know, tease at that. And at times it also gets pretty like progressive. I mean, there's like a 7-minute 9-second song on here, right? So I mean, it's got some kind of some proggy moments on here, lots of cool time changes and everything. But with that being said, let's kick it off. You kick off here with these kind of spoken word parts from, I guess they're like clips from, you know, doctors or something, or, you know, psychiatrists just talk about different, you know, crazy stuff all throughout. That kind of happens after each song, or really before each song, because if it happens kind of, you hear kind of rustling around and stuff before this first track, In Propagation, which is, you know, it sets the tone for the album right here, and it does it so damn well that it's one of my favorites off here. And Propagation is just, I love the pace that it kicks off at. You know, you get that little, again, that little spoken word part, and then, you know, you jump right into just a blasphemous riff, man, just crazy sounded stuff. And, you know, again, they are more melodic here, but, I mean, it ain't like, you know, even this song kind of has moments where it's like, it kind of has these hooky moments in it, that I guess you could maybe call a chorus, but it goes, again, the progressive nature kind of comes in where it's like, what's really the chorus here, right? It's just like its own, which I guess this one does more so have a chorus than some of the others on here, but and there's like main parts to some of these pieces, but I mean, just and Propagation's an incredible track. You get to hear a lot more shredding on here and stuff going on from these guys, which we got, you know, little hints of, you know, some crazy solos and stuff on the last two albums. Which I also want to mention, the production on this one is a huge step up from the past two albums. But like I said, you know, in those reviews, I liked the kind of shitty production on those last two records. Then we go on with Corporal Jigsaw Quandary. Another just top tier Carcass track right there for me. Love this one. Has some really cool moments, cool time changes going on. Love the riff. That riff is freaking sick on this one. And you get to hear some more of that shredding stuff going on, just noodling around. Really impressive playing from the guys. You know, I mean, if, you know, because I could see people be like, oh, you know, these guys, they're just chugging along stuff, maybe on like Reek of Putrefaction or something, right? But here it's like, okay, well, listen to them. They know how to solo. They know what they're doing. But yeah, oh, excuse me. But yeah, incredible song. Corporal Jigsaw Quandary, just a fantastic one. I love the ending portion of this one in particular. Then we go on to Symposium of Sickness, and yeah, I forgot. Oh, well, I mentioned in the last review for Symphonies of Sickness, I was thinking that on here, this track was actually called Symphonies of Sickness, because Symphonies of Sickness had a track called Reek of Putrefaction, and I thought they kind of carried that over, but I guess it's Symposium of Sickness, and this is one of my favorites. Yet again, just absolute kicker here. I love the the cool time changes, the just, you know, abrupt transitions at some of these moments here. In this one, this probably has my favorite guitar solo on the whole album. In fact, Symposium of Sickness, just badass stuff right there, man. And I love the kind of the breakdown of this one near the end. Has a really really cool, like, almost doomy kind of sounding riff. Then we close out side one with, I gotta say, my favorite off here, Pedigree Butchery. Man, this one just, whew, what a freaking song, man. Just the brutality of this one. And it starts off with kind of like a, it'll do its little riff and everything, and then you'll hear like this little acoustic part come in. Then it'll do the riff, and then another little acoustic part, and then you get to going at the, the high speed chaos that's going on here. And just, talk about a chorus, man. This one, just the way they just gurgle out, Pedigree Butchery, just badassery, man. Pedigree Butchery is just an all-time favorite. This was one of the tracks that really helped me get in this band, which actually, I might mention to you, this was actually the first album I ever heard by Carcass. It was suggested to me. And I just, man, ever since then, I've been hooked on their stuff. And Pedigree Butchery was a key factor in that for sure. Then we kick it on over to side two with Incarnated Solvent Abuse. Right, we're going to get these crazy titles all throughout their discography. If anybody knows them, that's what they're about, right? But another awesome song. I love this one. This one also has like a top tier solo for me, and is up there as far as my favorite guitar solos on the albums go. And the riff, and just another fantastic riff. Again, I hate to repeat myself, but it's another one of my favorites off here. I mean, just straight up, it's crazy, man, how good some of this stuff is here. Then we go on to Carnius Cacophony. Man, this one is a really, really brutal one. It's all brutal, right? All of it is. But this one, I would say, it's in the title, Cacophony. I would say that this is one of the heaviest ones off here, even though they're all really freaking heavy. And I love this one. Even this one almost cracked 7 minutes. At 6 minutes 31 seconds here. So this one has got a lot of those time changes in it as well. Just incredible drumming too in this one, and really the album as a whole. Then we go with probably my least favorite on the album if I had to pick one, but I love it. I love this song too. Lavaging Expectorate of Lysergide Composition. Try saying that a couple times really fast, man. You'll get just tongue-tied with these titles. I love it. It's but yeah, this is a solid song. Like, don't get me wrong. I really, really dig this one. And it's got a solid freaking riff on it, just like the others. However, out of all, 8 of these tracks here, on this whole album, I would have to say that one would be the one that I would maybe least return to. But again, great stuff. You can't go wrong here. This is just greatness after greatness on this album. And that being included. It's just if I had to pick one. Then we close it out with, man, that's that big epic here, that 7 minute 9 second track, Forensic Clinicism, the Sanguine Article. Man, this is might be my second or third favorite off here. It is fantastic. It's like, it's almost, I don't even know if you'd call this it would maybe be a concept album about, just, I don't know. Because, maybe with all these quotes and stuff, it's talking about, there's cannibalism they're talking about, and just, necrophilia, there's some really dark stuff. And here, and that's kind of what those little quotes that are coming in between here, but, and it kind of, maybe it kind of tells a story like that, but, this track, Forensic Clinicism, the Sanguine Article, it's like it just takes you down a deep, dark journey, man, to close out this thing, and I absolutely love it. One of my all-time favorites right there. That one, hell of a way to close an album right there. And I love the ending of this too. It's just an epic, just chuggy riff at the end of this thing here that just, man, makes you just want to flip back over and go on to side one again and just drop that needle and keep going, man, because this one is just, oh man, what an album. What an album. This was the album that got me into the band. The first one I ever heard by him, my dad suggested it to me, and I immediately checked it out and just fell in love with this crazy, nasty band, right? But so I mean, and this one isn't their most commercial sounding, as we'll see. They'll become more commercial sounding, but really they're not that commercial. I mean, you're not gonna hear their stuff probably on the radio off on any radio station. I mean, maybe they've had radio play out there. I don't know, but this one is definitely the transition as we start seeing some more of those progressive elements, or those progressive elements really get a light shined on them there, because there's, again, you got a 7-minute track, and a lot of these are 6.5 minutes. I mean, hell, even Symposium of Sickness is almost 7 minutes, and there's just all these crazy time changes that I even think like maybe someone who doesn't even like death metal would maybe at least be like, like a prog fan or something, like a strict prog fan would be like, okay, those time changes are pretty freaking sick, and that drumming's incredible, because it is all over here. I think the guys really just delivered it all on this thing here, and really showed that, hey, we can crack out an album that's not, the small pieces that kind of go, in which, the last album did kind of break away from that a little bit, but this one was like, it just, all the chains were off here, right? They unleashed what they were all about on this one, and this one is kind of that turning point in their career where, okay, we're going to start maybe having more choruses and having more melodies, even though it's not quite as melodic as some of the albums that we'll see coming up, right? But just a fantastic album. I'd love to hear what you guys think of this one. I know this is a pretty popular album for the band, and it was my first one, so I've got that sentimental attachment to it. Does that mean it's going to be number one? Who knows? That's happened before on these rankings. It's also not happened before. Sentimental value doesn't always just crack it right to the top, right? But you never know. It can happen. But just a fantastic album. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on, like, the transition of the band kind of during this time of it to the 90s, and get more complicated with stuff. It's almost as if like the first two albums were kind of like shocking, just, they were really, I mean, if you look at the album covers, right, I mean, they were just there to shock, and even the music is just blasts at you, which I love it. But this one, they really got to show off their musicianship on, for sure, and just makes it just a fantastic album for me. But yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this one right here. Necroticism, Descanting The Insalubrious. And of course, next time we're going to be looking at quite possibly their most popular album, which is Heartwork. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun. Of course, I'm planning on doing it on Saturday. We're going to be ranking the Metallica albums updated list, which I have moved some stuff around quite a bit more than I thought I would. I thought maybe I'd move one and just, slip 72 seasons where it goes, but I've kind of actually shifted some stuff around already, right? That's how it goes with these rankings, which is what's so fun about it. You're always just thinking about it and re-listening to stuff, maybe just moving it around. It's forever changing. But yeah, stay tuned for that, guys, because that's going to be coming up sometime, hopefully this weekend. But again, we're still trekking along here in this Carcass review series, so stay tuned also for Heartwork when we check it out next time, after we do that Metallica updated ranking of the albums. So stay tuned for that, guys. Let's talk about some Carcass down there, you death metalers. Get out here and let's talk about this thing. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.